Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to talk about the new wave of support that Marvel's doing for the Avengers game with the release of Kate Bishop, the Hawkeye that nobody asked for. Isn't it strange that when they did the promotion for the Avengers and stuff like that, it was already bad enough you added Kamala Khan, but then you show off Hawkeye, and then for the next DLC content to show Kate Bishop instead of Hawkeye, the original one, makes absolutely no sense. I don't know who's doing the marketing for Marvel, but it needs to stop. Stop trying to push these diverse female LGBTQ plus characters in people's faces. It doesn't work like that. My thing is, you had 10 years of the MCU and you barely did anything with it. You did some video games for phase 1, and then when you got to phase 2, you just said bump it. Now that most of the hype surrounding the MCU is dead, you want to release an Avengers game now. Out of all the times to release a Marvel Avengers game, this is the time that you want to release a Marvel Avengers game. That made no sense. Why you just didn't release a game during the hype? Oh yeah, you tried that Marvel vs. Capcom and you killed that franchise. I don't understand why Marvel like to shoot themselves in the foot when it comes to these kind of projects. The only time they didn't shoot themselves in the foot was the Ultimate Alliance game. Like Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. The only time they shut themselves with that one is they made it a Nintendo exclusive, so that way it doesn't get that much mainstream attention or whatever, because it's not focusing on the characters that they want mainstream audience to be focused on. And that's stupid. Yeah, they did force Spider-Gwen and Miss Marvel into the thing, but their characters aren't really there. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of weird. Like, why in the world are you doing 2 AAA games and you bring in all the characters that nobody asked for? Like, that makes absolutely no sense. You bring in characters that the mainstream don't really know about. You have to remember, you had the MCU to use, and oh boy. Anyway, sorry. You had the MCU and you had those characters out there. That should have been your main focus when you had the Marvel Avengers game. No, instead you had to go with Kamala Khan. Then your first supportive DLC is Kate Bishop Hawkeye. The heifer ain't even been in anything. So why in the world did you think that was supposed to be the greatest idea? And then you're trying to overpower her. You're trying to give her a teleportation bow and these off the chain arrow tricks or whatever. That makes no sense. Teleporting, no, that's not Hawkeye. And I've read Hawkeye and I've read Kate Bishop. She don't do all of that. So why did you think doing that? What is that supposed to do for the character? Make her better? Make her more interesting? I guess so. Not really. Not really. All of those characters from the Avengers, and you chose 2 characters that nobody really care about. Granted, there are going to be some losers, to be honest, that would be like, oh god, these 2 characters are amazing. Yeah, you the same losers that say that, but don't even pick up the books. And don't tell me you pick up the books, because I know majority of you guys don't pick up the books. So if these characters are so amazing, why they can't hold their own titles? If these characters are so amazing, how come you're not buying the video game that they're starring in? How come you're not buying the merchandise that they have for the characters? Oops, wait, because you don't care about them characters. You really don't. You're only saying that because it makes you look cool, and then you got these people that want to try to shield for this stupid game. But we should have known better. We really should have known better from Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. You saw what they did with that game. They completely trashed that game to high heaven with the exclusion of certain characters, the characters that people actually wanted to play. Don't get me wrong, Guardians of the Galaxy is pretty cool, but no, not for the Guardians of the Galaxy. Don't nobody care about them like that. No to Captain Marvel. No to Nova. I'm sorry, these characters are not that important like that for you to ignore fan favorites. I just don't understand where business sense isn't coming from. You need to stop trying to make fans mad or trying to show them, or even excuse me, trying to throw it in their face a character that they don't want. I mean, real business is you focus on the stuff that actually sells. So why in the hell would I focus on characters that don't sell or not even likable? That's the problem. You guys are trying to force characters that aren't even likable. Majority of your fan base that are avid readers don't like half the characters that you're trying to promote right now, and yet you're still trying to promote them. You're still trying to promote them. I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense. And you think by, oh yeah, we're gonna add Hawkeye Kate Bishop, and then we're gonna add Hawkeye again. Okay, but the game is still broken. You still can't replay the campaign. You patched up all the stuff that helped people find some semblance of enjoyment, but you don't patch the real issues. Do nobody not understand how that don't make no darn sense? It absolutely made no sense. There are no Marvel iconic locations in that game. And I just don't get it. And Marvel, Square Enix, Disney were warned previously. And isn't it funny that the E3 demo thing, that they didn't want nobody to get to see or anything or whatever, because they knew it was terrible. They knew the game was terrible. That's why they didn't want us to see this stuff. That's why they tried to get mad when people leaked the footage out there, because you knew the game was going to be garbage from the get-go. And seeing that E3 trailer, boy, that trailer demo, boy, wasn't a good look at all. You got to do something better than that. You really think Kate Bishop's about to bring in the audience? Her ass couldn't even sell comics. And they tried. That's why they had to kind of shoehorn her into the Hawkeye solo run, so they can be like, yeah, she was part of a good comic book. Of course she was part of a good comic book, because she's piggybacking off of her male counterpart, is pretty badass, even though, they try to make him incompetent when she's around so she can teach him a lesson. That's pretty stupid. That's pretty dumb, lame. And then look at it, another thing. You got Fortnite and you have Marvel Avengers Ultimate Alliance 3 that give you the costumes that people want, that has the dancing, all of the things that people want from these characters, the iconic costumes, the emojis, the gameplay, or whatever. All of that is right there in Fortnite, and Fortnite is doing better than Marvel's Avengers. Ultimate Alliance 3 is doing better than Marvel's Avengers. I just don't understand, and we really should have learned our lesson from Marvel vs. Capcom Infinity. Like, y'all showed us that y'all didn't care. That game literally killed the franchise, probably. And I don't even know if Marvel vs. Capcom can ever come back from it. They could if they do the right thing, but I doubt it. And now we have a video game that is a pay to win, and Square Enix announced that they haven't made back the cost of the video game. And now it's on sale. It's not even worth the sale price that they have for it. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. You don't want these video games to do terrible, but we're at an age where these companies think they can cheat us out of our money and give us a cheap rush to market product, and think we're supposed to be stupid enough to be buying it. And then they want to try to force their agendas into the nonsense, because it is agenda driven. You have to be dumb not to see that the game didn't have no agenda to it, because it did. They wanted to make a Miss Marvel game, but they really couldn't do just a Miss Marvel game because they knew nobody was going to buy it. So what they do, Oh yeah, let's make it an Avengers game. Ta-da! Now you have your Avengers game, but it's really quote unquote Miss Marvel, the video game, featuring the Avengers and barely. And everybody was like, "Oh yeah, you get to play with them later," or blase blase. But we're talking about for the main story or whatever and stuff like that. You can tell that they put way more time and effort into Kamala Khan than they did the other characters, and that's just real talk because that's what the agenda was. Because they had too many characters that they could have used, and they chose not to, and that sucks. Like I said, I think what needs to happen with Marvel's Avengers, it needs to be an event that needs to happen. You can do like a bootleg version of Secret War, or Galactus destroying the Earth or whatever and stuff like that, or the Annihilation Wave or something that literally destroys that video game world, and then bam, a big bang happened, the world come back, and the video game looks better than it's ever been. You literally might have to go and do a Final Fantasy 14, a Realm Reborn thing, just to try to bring it back. Just to try to bring it back. Or No Man's Sky thing or whatever. But you're really going to have to put time and effort into it, and you're going to probably have to forget about trying to charge people for it until you make the game where the game is amazing, where people will love this game and stuff like that, where they can see themselves spending money on it. That's great. But for right now, you are not going to get anybody by the game in current state it is now. And no matter how many DLC characters you bring, it might be okay, but a lot of people probably going to wait until the game's not patchy, not buggy, has all the updates that people want, have all the DLC that people want, or whatever. And that's probably what 2 years away. You just have to think about that kind of stuff or whatever. I hope this will be a good lesson for Marvel, Disney, Square Enix, Crystal Dynamics to really learn, because they really should learn from this. Don't nobody want to see a video game fail, but when you put agenda ahead of story, ahead of profit, this is the things that you get. This is the things you get. Now you have to lie in that. You have to lie in that. But yeah, that was my quick little video about Marvel Avengers and how I don't think Kate Bishop is going to save the day. And if you guys like it, let me know. Like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.